What's going on, vintage gamers? I'm cold. And I can't win games of Magic anymore. Ever since I sold my soul to the devil in that Tinker Doomsday video, it has been downhill in vintage for me since then. I believe I'm something like 2 wins, 13 losses. That's leagues, challenges, everything. Ever since I revealed a Doomsday off of my Bolas' Citadel. So, today I need to try to break that curse, and what a better way to do it than testing some new cards that I haven't actually played in vintage before. So the cards we're testing out today are Fable of the Mirror Breaker from Kamigawa, as well as Unlicensed Hearse from Streets of New Capenna. Both of these cards are seeing play in some of the stompy variants in other formats, particularly Legacy. Took a recent top 8 Legacy list, 2 mono red prison decks, top 8'd the most recent Legacy challenge. So I wanted to try out a Legacy or a vintage port of that Legacy deck today. It is something that has been done in the past to varying amounts of success. It is a deck when the cards line up well against your opponent, you can definitely take a tournament. I know Eric likes to talk about there's a mono red player in his local vintage scene in Japan that can definitely sometimes win a tournament if you just, you know, the draws line up, everything works out pretty well. The cards are powerful enough that, like I said, if Blood Moon is good against your opponent, then maybe you just knock them out right there. So the idea is we're going to use Ancient Tombs and City of Traders, as well as a bunch of colorless fast mana to play cards that do not have a high red pip cost, so a lot of 2 and a red spells. Well, not really this one. This one kind of adds red mana. So what we want to try to do is make it so our opponent can't play the game with Magus of the Moon and Blood Moon, Trinisphere and Karn, as well as Chalice and Thorn, and then deploy a scaling threat like a Roblem Master and kill them before they can come out from underneath the lock. You also have ability to kill creatures with the big old Fury. Obviously, Ragavan is something that Legacy can't play, but we can play in this format. I think a card that fits pretty well as a snowballing threat. Also gives you red mana to use on some of your other cards. I don't exactly know how good Fable is going to be in this deck, to be perfectly honest. It having a threat tacked onto it, getting rid of extra lands, seems like it could be good, but I could see this card being a flop in the vintage variant. I do like the idea of playing for Magus of the Moon. I think it's quite a strong card right now. Blood Moon I'm not as happy with because it gets hit by Force of Vigor. But our sideboard is almost entirely, looks like Dredge hate, some artifact hate, and a couple pieces of combo hate. I've kind of put it together because I feel like that is where we're going to be really wanting to bring cards in against. Like, this deck should be fairly reasonable against blue decks to start. So you're going to be able to want to bring in cards against the other matchups in vintage. I do enjoy playing these kind of decks from time to time. One of the biggest things to recognize is a reason these decks don't do as well in vintage compared to Legacy is you do not have access to 4 Chalice of the Void. You don't have access to 4 Karn. You don't have access to 4 Trinisphere. And those 4 Trinisphere, you know, I think Chalice of the Void being the very big one, really helps you prevent your opponent from doing broken things. So having a lower number of those lock pieces means you have to weigh more heavily on some of the other cards. I do think that a Magus of the Moon and a Blood Moon should be more powerful in vintage in comparison to Legacy. Even though opponents do have Moxen, mana bases in vintage are both small and fragile, and people do not play a very large number of basics. So you can really, if opponent doesn't have a counterspell for a Blood Moon or a Magus of the Moon, the game can end right then and there. So hopefully we can get into a vintage league and win some matches of Magic. That would be nice. Let's try. Okay. It is time. Let us Blood Moon some unsuspecting vintage opponents. Who better than a 5-color Luris deck to be our first victim? We've got 2 Blood Moons on this first turn here. So I accept. We've got Black Lotus Blood Moon, and we have Ancient Tomb Spirit Guide Blood Moon. So a little bit too many lands, but all right. So they hold up a fetch land. They probably have an island in their deck, which makes these Blood Moons less good. But cool. Cool. All right. Black Lotus. Wait, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to turn my Ancient Doom into a mountain. Which one do I want to lead on? I think I would rather bait with the Blood Moon itself. Got the basic island, and then it resolves. So instead of playing a Magus, I'm going to get this Rabble Master in play. Try to get a clock going. I don't know exactly what my opponent's playing. It could be Breach. It could be 5-color Luris. Kind of think if there's a basic island in the deck, it means it's Breach. The Luris deck... The Luris deck doesn't really have room for basics. Okay, so we did get our Rabble Master bolted. That means it's definitely a Breach deck. I don't know how that's gonna go. Probably not great. I can't play a follow-up creature on this turn because my mountain is a mountain. So, and they have as much blue mana as they want, and you know, making them have red mana is not the biggest deal, seeing as they are a Breach deck. It's kind of actually helped them fix. It did. My opponent did play an Urza Saga into the Blood Moon right there, though. Powerful interaction being something to do with sagas. They don't get the counters, but they're still sagas and they die. I don't know. I'm not a rules person. I do know that you don't want to play an Urza Saga into a Blood Moon, though. The good news is their Urza Saga is an enchantment land, and now their Dragon's Rage Channeler is a 3/3. So, you know, it's not all downsides. I don't think I want to kill the Dragon Rage Channeler. I think I'd rather play a Grey Ogre here. Any land drop lets me just hardcast this Fury anyways. Hardcasting Fury should be a path to victory, as it is a 3/3 double striker, which is larger than most things. I'm not sure. We are preventing them from demonic tutoring, but we're not preventing them from doing very much else. So I would say we are kind of hoping and praying that we do not... Oh, hello. That's a good magic card, because that will definitely hamper their Black Lotus base combo. It will die pretty fast to this Dragon's Rage Channeler. But I could maybe... I think I would like to just go get a Tormod's Crypt. I don't know. I think I am going to start by killing the Sapphire. Am I going to start by killing the Sapphire? So I want to not die to... graveyard-based combo. So what I'll do... I'll get a cage too. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by killing the Sapphire, because if the Dragon's Rage Channeler attacks my Karn will still live. Then I can go tutor for a Soul Guide Lantern or a cage, whichever is better in the situation. I do think if I draw a land, I could always Fury this Dragon Rage Channeler, or even a red spell to pitch. I could kill this Dragon Rage Channeler, and then maybe the choice is different. This is a really pretty reasonable draw here. It definitely keeps me a little bit safer, which is nice. Has to attack. I assume just attacks Karn. I do have a bridge that I could get underneath, but I don't really feel like getting underneath a bridge is what you want to be doing here. Unless I could like follow up with a lattice combo or something. But it doesn't feel like what we want to be doing here. Yeah, this Saga dying was pretty nice. My opponent has 5 cards in hand and didn't feel like countering Karn was a play that they needed to make, which is interesting. They're not even going for Karn. Interesting. They're not exactly winning this race. Okay, they've switched and chosen for Karn. See what we draw. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Okay, so I'm gonna try to pitch cast Fury. I think if I can get this off the table, it's better for me than, say, just getting a Soul Guide. I don't really want to pitch cast Fury, but my Fury has been pyroblasted so that my opponent can surveil. It's a good sign. It is nice to be in a deck that does not get hit by Pyroblast. That is a good feeling. That is not feeling that I do not often experience. But I like it. I accept. So if this resolves, then are we still getting... All right, so that kills the Dragon Rage Channeler. I still am going to minus my Karn, and I'm just going to get a Soul Guide Lantern. I think it's a bit stronger than getting, say, a Cage or Crypt. Well, see, because it just lets me time it. My opponent currently can only cast 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're going to be able to, if I don't hit their yard, they can cast Cruise. I think that's fine. I'm going to hit the Lightning Bolt from their yard. That means they won't be able to, like, breach Bolt Karn kind of thing. Yeah, this is important, because this, if I can take the Lightning Bolt, it means they don't have a way to direct damage kill Karn. Which means it'll be pretty hard for them to combo off. Alright, cool. So I'll take this Lightning Bolt. So I'm going to leave them... Okay, I was going to leave them with the ability to cruise, because I think it's just holding this up against Breach makes more sense. Alright, so wow, that was actually enough. I am pretty surprised that that was enough, but... So my opponent is on a Luris Breach deck, which are typically a lot more vulnerable to Graveyard Hate. The reason is because they don't get to play things like Lelia as a way to skirt Graveyard Hate. They probably do play maybe some Ragavans, but being Luris-based means that I'm going to bring in Leyline of the Void. Also, one of their ways to get around beating a Leyline of the Void, one of their ways to beat a Leyline of the Void is Urza Saga, and we have that pretty well covered with our moons here. So what I'm looking to do here is I'm going to bring in Soul Guide Lantern and Leyline of the Void. Maybe that's too much. Maybe I just want to bring in... Yeah, I like that. And then... What am I going to take out? I think I'm just going to take out these Fables. No, I'm just going to take out these Furies. I should be... Maybe I don't need Soul Guide because I have these unlicensed Hearsts. Kind of forgot about them. I think I would just take out some Furies because... Maybe I'll take out some Furies and some Fables. How about that? It doesn't really feel like I need Fable, whereas maybe Rabblemaster is better than taking... I don't know. I think Rabblemaster should theoretically be a better card than Fable. I could also bring in things like Pyrostatic Pillar. I don't know about Pyrostatic Pillar. Maybe a Pyrostatic Pillar makes sense too. I don't want to take out all my Furies. I think having a stopgap versus a creature is good. All right, I'm just gonna take out some Fables, some Furies, and some Rabblmasters. Just some trims. I don't know what like makes the most sense, but I do want to keep some Fables just to try them. I don't think Fable was bad on that board, but it wasn't. It wasn't anything crazy. I guess Fable would have been pretty nice on turn 1 because they wouldn't have been able to bolt it. And they would like maybe they bolted the Goblin, but that would have been fine. Yeah, Fable would have been pretty good on turn 1 there instead of Rabblemaster. So maybe I'm off base. Maybe Fable is kind of lit. I don't have the red manas here, so it's gonna have to try again. This one has a Leyline of the Void, a Karn, a Thorn, and a Hearse. Kind of nice. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this one. I think it makes sense to get rid of Thorn and just play both threats. Yeah, I'm gonna bottom the Thorn and play both my Karn and my Hearse. My opponent has mulled to 5. Is this the streak breaker? Am I finally going to experience winning games of Magic again? Well, I guess I did win last game. Matches of Magic again. Am I going to experience winning matches of Magic again? I would like that. I would enjoy that. I guess Unlicensed Hearst and Leyline of the Void, not a combo. But I can always eat my own Black Lotus, right? So maybe I should have kept Karn. No, I think it makes... I don't know. This is definitely not a combo. I didn't really think about that. All right, so they have a 1/1 forever. That gets to Surveil, though, so not the end of the world. They have 2 1/1s. So I guess I can make my... Well, I can't stand up my curse. Is there anything I can get off this Karn? I guess I can bridge at some point here. Okay. They only have 1 card in hand, so I assume all of this is resolving. So next turn, I can just bridge, and then it's probably good enough. They have a Mind Break Trap. That'd be pretty impressive. Well, I guess I could stand up the Hearse. Oh, wait. How is this going to work? Like, oh, I don't know how this works together. Will it become a 0/0 and die? I have no idea. Let's not find out. I don't know which one takes over. I'm pretty sure it's a 2/2, maybe? If I remember correctly, the Skyship Sovereign is a 5/5 when you animate it. So I assume it would be a 2/2. Yeah, I'm not sure. I would think this gets overwritten, the star part, and it becomes a 2/2. I'm gonna have to eat my own Black Lotus here to even make this a thing, but I'm just gonna do this now and 6. I guess I just standing it up as a 2/2 blocks these things forever, so... But getting a bridge might just... Well, bridge is not very good if I draw land. My opponent decided they didn't want the island, which is interesting. And the Hercules recall. What do you want if you do not want island? I guess I'm pretty close to latticing them. That's a bad draw if I wanted to bridge them. Holy moly. I ended up going bottom. I guess I don't have any red mana, and I don't have... I guess I have to stand up this... Fuck. Did I just stand up this Hearse? Should be a 2/2. I guess I could cycle a Soul Guide Lantern, but... So this is like a spot where Fable makes a lot of sense. Because I can just get rid of ley lines that I don't need. Maybe I should have taken all the Rabble Masters and played only Fables. I guess this is also a spot where Fury is really good. I guess not right now because I don't have any red mana or red spells. So maybe not. I am worried my opponent will get out of this because I don't have anything happening. There's a lightning bolt. Wow. Okay. Shit. All right. They kept in Fluster. Interesting. That is a card I would try to board out if possible. So what do? I'm going to pick my Karn down to 3. Maybe I just need to cycle a Lantern. Maybe I can keep plussing. I can't get Bridge, unfortunately. Not good. Not good for me. I need to find some stuff. All right. So, like, I could technically Lattice Lock, but my opponents would just kill my Karn, which is unfortunate as well. But if I wait any longer, I don't really get anything. There's no draw here that gets me a protected Karn, right? Even if if I plus, they go to 2 and I draw a thing. Yeah, I guess I just need to try to hold on to my Karn. Yeah, we do want a creature. Also, my opponent could end up finding, like, blue card Force. Also, it would have been good to have a Blood Moon, because then they would just have no lands that work. Kind of an odd game. One top this time. Yeah, I really wish I could play a bridge. I would feel a lot better about this game if I could, like, play a bridge, pump up my Karn, and then slam a Lattice. My opponent has kept some cards now off of their... Okay, that's perfect draw. Let's see if it resolves. It did resolve. Okay, so in this case, I just pump my Karn again. So they can't even attack through this Magus. They don't have any blue mana. They can't kill my Karn. So they have to find another Lightning Bolt. They have another Lightning Bolt? Okay, they have a top. That's just a Surveil spell. Okay, we have stabilized. I am now very far away from latticing, though, because I have turned my Ancient Tombs into mountains. I now have a Simian Spirit Guide. Okay, so I do think I am going to crack a lantern now. Oh, because I'm going to play this Simian Spirit Guide. Oh, shit. I guess I'm not going to crack a lantern now because I don't have extra mana to do so. All right, never mind. So I might have screwed this up. That was probably a bad play because I don't want to... what I should do is I should cast the Simian Spirit Guide first to make sure it resolves. Because if it doesn't resolve, they can kill my Karn. They could also draw lightning... I mean, any lightning bolt would kill my Karn anyways. Mishra's Bauble. Yeah. So my opponent's just going to put any card that's not a land into their yard. But the problem is... they didn't keep their island a long time ago. They had the ability to keep their island at one point, and they didn't choose to do that, which I think is odd. Ooh, I'm 1 mana away from that. That's going to be game ending. Let's get rid of this bauble. Oh my god, next turn, if I draw a land, I can stand up the top and kill all 3. All right, I'm going to draw this because I think it makes sense to just look for mana. All right, perfect. That's a mountain for next turn. All right, so next turn... we end their lives. It's going to be fun. I hope it resolves. It'll be fun if it resolves. All right. So I'm not going to stand up this top, though, because... no, I don't think there's anything bad about standing up this top. Like, they can't really kill Karn anyways. So I'm about to end this person's career. Oh, nice. We should take a screenshot. All right, now I feel very good about our chances. We also have Lattice coming down, right? All right, there we go. We have broken the loss streak. Urza's saga has been soundly defeated by the Magus who controls the moon. All is right in the world. Okay, let's hope the good vibes continue. We're up against Weisel, who is a green-white Heat Bears player. We have 4 Fury in our deck, so I expect great things. Will a Rabble Master on turn 1 plus a Chalice plus a Fury be enough? Seems reasonable to think that it would be. Let's give it a go. Chalice is quite good on the play versus the Hate Bear style decks. I guess they have Force of Vigor though. All right, send. So if this Fury is good, this Rabble Master should hopefully carry us. I guess if we draw any more red sources, we can play a second Rabble Master and things go well too. It's nice that our challenge did not get vigored, so that means they can't play like a turn 1 anything, really. They can only play turn 1. Chalice counters Chalice. They can only play like turn 1. Oh, wow. They are not on green-white Hate Bears. That is kind of bad for me, I would think. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna hold Fury for a little bit here. I did not think they would be on aggro shops. However, the clock is quick, and I have a Fury still. Let's see what they've got for us. Stone Coil Serpent. So this is fine. Because I can do 3 damage to Stone Coil and 1 damage to the Germ Token, and then the Germ Token will become a 1/1. Wow, Fury is a busted Magic card. That is not a card I get to play a lot of in Vintage. I know it's a pretty big card in like Modern. But that is pretty incredible. Holy hell. Yeah, it's just not something I get to experience very much, but it's certainly strong. Wow. And I'm just going to kill another one with another Fury here, and that is going to be game. Okay. Nice to meet you, shop's opponent. Nice to... Okay, Rabble Master, Fury. Woo! And even better news, I did put some shops hate here. I have a Pulverize. Not sure how good Pulverize is actually going to be. We have a lot of mountains. And, you know, these things turn everything into mountains. So, Blood Moon and mountains and things should be pretty good. I just like this card. So, it's just a favorite of mine. So, I wanted to play it. Besides that, Chalice on the draw, Thorn, not very great, and Trinisphere, not very great. So, we just take out our restricted hate pieces here and bring in some artifact hate, and this seems like a matchup that we have a lot of nice tools for. Let's see if that continues. We have a turn 1 Ragavan if they do not have... This feels like it's reasonable enough. Depending on what their draw is. I guess I should just F6. Soul Ring, Saga, and a Foundry Inspector. Okay. So we have a turn 2 Blood Moon. Do we want to kill the Foundry Inspector? I definitely want to go Mountain Ragavan. I am just unsure if I want to Fury just an Inspector. I kind of do want to keep them a little bit mana constrained. See what they do. Obviously, I can't attack in with this Ragavan because they have an active Saga, but this should like persuade them, hopefully, to not play too many things here. Second Saga is great for us as long as they don't play a Thorn. Okay, Ballista's quite good against Ragavan as well, but now I get to kill 2 Sagas. It's not exactly winning because my opponent does have a construct, but we have a Byforce follow-up. So as long as we don't get wastelanded, I guess we can't get wastelanded because we have a Blood Moon, but we will also only have a 2 mana. So, all right, 2 Sagas go down. Now I need to beat this board, which seems beatable, but I probably need to hit a mana source to get a double Byforce. Oh, Trinisphere. That's not bad. I just need to hit a mana source. I guess that is technically a mana source. I should probably have been more specific. I will definitely take this opportunity to trade for their Ballista. It's going to shrink this construct anyways. I maybe... No, I definitely would have been way worse if I hadn't Furied this Inspector. I just need to draw a land. Yeah. Like, if I kill this construct, I feel like I win. But I can't seem to do that. So I might lose. Need a land. No, not a land. Very awkward, because I do think if we hit a land, we would win this game. But because we missed on a land, we actually ended up losing this game. Kind of awkward. Wow. Okay. I don't think it was I like the way we played and I like what we did. Let's board back Chalice on the play. And I'll take out one of these hearses. I don't know. Something. Hearse doesn't seem terrible, but it also doesn't seem great. Maybe we want Needle instead of this hearse. Feels like that's reasonable. Yeah, wow. That was quite sad. We also could have drawn Pulverize, and it would have been... I guess it wouldn't have been sick, because I also couldn't cast Pulverize. Never mind. All right, so here I've got turn 1 Ragavan, turn 2 Blood Moon. Yep, let's do it. The good news is Ragavan should provide me with a way to play a Blood Moon through like a Thorn or a Sphere. And Mountain means I'm not getting wastelanded, and it seems like that's a good start to a game. Though I don't have any Furies in my hand, and those seem like the pivotal card in the matchup. What is this going to do for me? Inspector, Needle on Wasteland. That's not a problem. All right, so... Magus. Blood Moon. I should try to trade off with this Foundry Inspector first. Because if they don't trade off here, I would like to be able to play... This feels like a trade prop. Yeah, okay. This is... I guess it doesn't actually change anything for me. I'm just going to play... They shouldn't be able to kill my Magus with a Walking Ballista, so it makes more sense to just Magus here. So now I don't have to worry about Saga. I might need to play a Blood Moon after in case I get ballisted at some point, but that should be pretty far off unless they named Wasteland, they had a Wasteland. So now I can actually play a hasty Ragavan. This seems quite winning. A Foundry Inspector? Sure, why not play a Foundry Inspector? Is that better than playing a Fable? Let's play a Foundry Inspector. That kind of just sounds like fun to me. I think we need to play a Blood Moon this turn in case my opponent... If my opponent plays a land drop, I want to play a Blood Moon in case my opponent has 4 lands and a Walking Ballista. Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Never mind. That doesn't matter. All right, I'm going to play another Magus of the Moon. I'm gonna just play a Blood... I'm just gonna play a Blood Moon now. So my opponent just gave me a clock, and I can still... This Inspector actually trades with a Lodestone Golem, so playing it was pretty good for us. They do have a ton of mana now, though, so if they have like a Walking Ballista, they can play a Walking Ballista, kill this Inspector, take a swing. Play their own Inspector. So the board is going to be stalled, but they have a Crypt. Oh, is the board going to be stalled? I think I still want to just hold this and cast it at some point. So let's actually instead play this Fable, as it will give me a treasure next turn. Or I could maybe attack and they'll block with the Lodestone, and then I can wipe their board with a Fury. If I hit a land and I can make that attack line, and it's kind of incredible. Wow, this is pretty sweet. I know we're playing against Shops, and this feels like a deck that's going to be good against Shops, but... Though I can tell you, my opponent has found large mana sources that are not lands. 1, 2, 3, 6. Play a Wormcoil. Could play a Walking Ballista on 3. Ah, they played a Wormcoil. All right, things get more challenging from here. I need to find one of my 3 direct artifact answers. So technically, I could hardcast this Fury, but now my attack is like a lot worse because I get to gain life. I'm gonna just discard Ragavan and Lotus Petal. Blood Moon Soul Ring. So I'm just gonna get this Fury in play. Killing the Lodestone. This is a double striking Fury, so it trades with Wormcoil Engine. So that's not even that bad for me. Wait, no, I just can fucking use Fable on Fury. Wow, that's gonna be nuts. It's unfortunate I can't like if they don't attack here, then I can always like chump block and make a Fury and kill my own thing and the Inspector. That'd be pretty crazy. Again, I need to kind of dodge Walking Ballista a little bit. What the fuck? That's a boat. Okay, that is so bad for me. Yeah, that's really bad for me. Holy shit, that's so bad for me. All right, so my opponent has drawn some nice anti-aggro slash, you know, like creature cards here in Walking, and they're really, like, to be fair, how often is this Wormcoil actually going to be castable when I Magus of the Moon you? Probably not very often. However, they have drawn Mana Vault, Mana Crypt. All right, so I do really just need to draw Pulverize or Bifrost. That's neither of them. So now they're gonna kill my Reflection. Everything is really bad now. Everything is very bad now. I am in deep shit now. Maybe I'm supposed to hold that Blood Moon for a second kiki-jiki that I can discard too. Yeah, I'm very dead now. Holy moly. I thought we were gonna win, and then this boat happened. I actually think we were still, like, if there was no boat, it was just Wormcoil, I think we were currently winning on board. But now that there's a boat, we are very much losing on board, and I need to probably draw Pulverize. Bifrost actually still works as well. Man, this is not good. I don't have like a lot of direct artifact hate cards because I felt like we were winning the matchup, and it does feel like that was the case, but I'm gonna have to chump this. This is gonna kill my kiki-jiki. Yeah. This is bad. This is very bad. This is very bad. It's not the one. So now Wow. Okay. I need to even if I draw by force now, it's not going to be good enough. Chump chump, and then they get 2 creatures after. Yeah, that's crazy. I thought we were 100% to win this. Boat so good. My opponent has played 2 lands this game. They have 2 mountains, but they cast 6 mana and 5 mana cards. I guess that's the power of Mana Crypt Manifold. Not all aggro shops are playing Manifold either. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm dead on board. I don't have any draws that get me out of this. That's quite bad. Wow. Can even hardcast a Pulverize, right? That's pretty unfortunate. I'm pretty sad to lose that set, especially because it's shops, which usually feels pretty free. But they got me. We got. Okay, here we go. Round 3. We are up against a Doomsday player. I'm going to snap keep this hand. I don't think Doomsday... If I can resolve a Magus of the Moon on turn 1, it's going to be pretty... Oh, shit. They're on the play. Well, I'm going to do it anyways. If we were on the play, I would feel pretty happy about this game because my opponent would have to have a Force of Will because they're not going to fetch a basic island here. They're always going to fetch an Underground Sea. That's just how Doomsday works. So if I can dodge Daze or Force of Will and jam a Magus of the Moon, I'm going to play Magus of the Moon over Blood Moon because it has 1 less counterspell that gets hit by. Then I feel incredibly favored because it's pretty hard for my opponent to play Magic. Their deck is not really constructed in a way to beat Blood Moon. It has... 2 Moxen, a Black Lotus, and like 1 basic that they can sometimes fetch in, but not always. So they need to have a force here or a Daze. Yep, they have a force. All right, well, now I would probably die. I mean, it's turn 2. My opponent is on Doomsday, so historically speaking, this is the point where we die. Time to find out. If we don't die, we do get to play Blood Moon into Rival Master, so there's some nice things happening there. Yep. No, Necropotence. Okay. Time to find out if Necropotence... Oh, no. So now they're going to vamp for a force, maybe? Or maybe vamp for a kill? If they don't have a force already, they probably need to vamp for a force so they don't get Blood Mooned here. Let's see. Oh, they got Daze. That's really bad. No, so now I feel like we are most certainly dying. So basically, I made a 3-mana play on turn 1 and a 3-mana play on turn 2. Both of those spells got countered and my opponent combo killed me, which is what you expect from Doomsday, so... All right, so this probably... I mean, even... I don't even know if you want to fetch a basic island. Maybe you do. You have an Ancestral. Okay. Well, we are out of Blood Moons, unfortunately. So we don't really have... they hit Jet. Okay, so now I think we have very little chance of winning this game. Rest in peace, Fablebreaker. Unless they have bricked really hard on their Necro, which is something that does happen most of the time in my experience. I have not been a fan of this Necro. Whenever a Doomsday player Necros me instead of Doomsdaying me, I always feel really happy. Hmm. We drew another Magus of the Moon. I don't know if that's good anymore because my opponent has blue and black mana. But is it better than playing Rabble Master? Rabble Master puts them to 4 and then threatens lethal, whereas Magus doesn't put them to 4, doesn't threaten lethal, but makes it so they lose 1 mana and then they have to find Dark Ritual. They're gonna probably kill me either way here with a Doomsday. So let's play a Rabble Master. I think it's too late for the Magus now that they've gotten basic island and their jet. Hmm. Yep. So now they Doomsday, and this should just be winning, but we'll let them do it. We know after I played Doomsday that it's quite easy to flub a pile, so might as well give him a shot. If we were on the play this game, I find it highly likely that we would win. Because I believe they probably found this days off the Necro. When we would maybe be able to resolve a counter spell or a Blood Moon. All right, let's see. Yep. Okay, so they have Preordain into Gush into Lotus Kill. Pretty straightforward. Not much we could really do there. We played the cards we had. I think the cards we had were good. It just didn't work out. I do think that it makes a little bit of sense to play Pillar. I'm not 100% sure that Pillar is actually what we want to be doing, but these unlicensed hearse seemed not great, so I think a pretty reasonable swap. I do think of the combo decks that we can play against, this one does seem difficult. It has the most counter magic, but the upside is that it relies less on Moxen. So it has a it has a mana base. It's hard to explain exactly, but its mana base is more susceptible to Blood Moon and Magus because it's heavily reliant on black mana, but doesn't play a swamp typically. They usually play an island. And then so like if you do Blood Moon your opponent, they have to use their 3 Moxen total, or Moxen plus Lotus. So I think there are some upsides in here, but we'll see. On the play, looking for turn 1, a Magus of the Moon or a Blood Moon. See, this is the unfortunate thing is we have a nice vintage subsection hand here where we get to actually play Ragavan and Lotus and Mana Crypt, but we don't have our heat pieces. Still probably worth playing, though. Almost certainly still worth playing. I think what we want to do is find a way to sequence this where I think we just play Lotus Crypt Fable, Hasty Ragavan, and if Hasty Ragavan hits, I don't even know if this is actually worth keeping. Maybe even though we have this much mana, we are supposed to mulligan because we don't have a hate piece. It feels weird to like take a 6/8 mana hand and not keep it. I got my mana crypt negated. Huh. Okay. I don't know if I care. I guess this Fable should give us 2 extra cards next turn because we're going to get to pitch these 2 that are dead. Maybe this one won't be dead, but we'll have to see. I guess it's pretty bad for us if this gets countered as well, because then our I guess we can cast Ragavan off of Treasure, so it's not even that bad. So Fable and Mana Crypt clear the way for our Monkey. I've been told Monkey is also quite good against Doomsday by the Doomsday contingent, so I can't really... I had to play this city or use my Spirit Guide to maximize mana, so that was a little awkward. They do have the basic island in their hand, but they used 4 cards to force. Second Monkey draw, not great. Would have been very nice to pitch the second Monkey draw to the Fable. The Fable seems conceptually quite good now that we've seen it. We haven't seen it happen. Oh, we hit their jet. That's nice. We haven't really seen it been in play and do its thing too much, but I'm gonna not lose my city. Okay, island, nothing, go. I drew a 3rd Ragavan. Okay. Can't say that I'm happy with drawing 2 more Ragavans, but I'm hoping eventually, like, they do something to my Ragavan, maybe. I don't know. I hit a Scalding Tarn, so no more land drop for them. I think it makes sense to play this Simian Spirit Guide. Try to up this clock. 3 Ragavans in hand, huh? Powerful? What can I say? I am a powerful wizard. All right. How about a Ragavan? And slowly but surely, we are clocking our opponent. I hit another fetch land off the top. I just keep hitting fetch lands. I don't think there's any real reason to play this Sapphire. All right, they hit another fetch land. So that was like 4 fetch lands in a row on top of the library. So now they have access to black mana. Do we die? We could just die here. They could just go Dark Ritual, Doomsday, Cantrip, Gush, kill me. My opponent has cast 0 cantrips this game. They've cast 2 forces. Do they just also have a compact Doomsday kill without doing any hand sculpting? Likely, yes. I mean, it's Doomsday, right? But yeah, it could be. Maybe not. Maybe not. My hand has not been particularly... I mean, my hand was powerful. They just countered 2 of my things on turn 1. And then I drew Monkey Moxen, so... It almost would have been better for my opponent to have countered my monkey, so I could have had backup monkeys, but I guess I didn't really care about that Mana Crypt, so the Mana Crypt counter using negation was pretty nice. But if I had led with monkey instead of Fable, they would maybe have forced monkey and I could have resolved Fable. Maybe I should have just done that. I didn't think that was correct until I drew 2 more monkeys. Which is not exactly a reason that you should. Oh, yeah. Dark Ritual, Doomsday. Or do they have Necro? Please have Necro. Please? Please have not Doomsday. You're in. You're doing it. What do you got? You've cast the Dark Ritual. It is too late to turn back. If they just have Doomsday and a cantrip, I'm going to be so upset that we waited this long for a guaranteed kill. I guess you could play around Pyroblast. I don't really like playing Pyroblast in these decks. I know it's a thing you can do. I just don't find that I have open red mana very much, or like want the Pyroblast in my hand. Maybe that's a mistake. Maybe we should have like 2 Pyroblasts in our board. Get rid of some of this graveyard hate. It's possible. I've always been fairly unimpressed with like Pyroblast in these stompy decks, or even recently I tried the no props red GAC list. Dark Ritual, Demonic Tutor, Doomsday, kill me. All right, cool. I'm glad we figured it out. Wait, what? Vamp? Vamp Ancestral? Hit a land. No, they can't hit a land. They have to hit another Dark Ritual? I don't know what just happened. Because I feel like you could have demonicked for Come on. Okay, sure. I was about to say, I was like, I feel you could have just demonicked for Doomsday, and even if you had to make a pass the turn pile, just played around Ragavan, and it would have been fine. But what do I know? Yeah, this felt like a pretty winnable game if we drew anything other than Ragavan, Mox Sapphire. Ragavan, Mox Sapphire was quite poor. I guess I didn't board out Fury, so maybe I shouldn't say those kind of things, because I could have drawn some Furies, but... yeah, I guess I probably should have taken out some Furies and put in the Pyrostatic Pillars there. We don't really have like a ton of cards to bring in here. Maybe it does make sense to have some Pyroblast then. Pyroblast doesn't actually counter Doomsday, but could counter, you know, the Gush. Well, the way my opponent is tanking, this does make me think that they maybe have no cantrip, but then they would die. So they just don't know what's going on. There's a Murktide Regent. That's a pretty bold play against a deck that could be playing Pyroblast and maybe should be playing Pyroblast. I mean, I assume this is a straightforward Gush or Street Wraith into stuff, right? Oh, wow. It's a Fatal Push pass pile. Huh. So I need to draw not that. I need to draw not that. That is what I need to draw. Do they have a count? They don't. Oh no, they forgot about Ragavan. Oh no, opponent. Well, it is as they say. Doomsday only has one bad matchup, and that's Doomsday's pilot. Please don't take that badly. I love you. I am also one of the bad Doomsday pilots, so there is nothing to be ashamed of. I think everyone who's not Discover N or Bart or Max is always there's always room to improve. What do I have here? I have Magic cards. Unfortunately, I have this Fury again. I tried to board some of them out. Didn't really work out. I have access to a Blood Moon on turn 1, so I'm just going to keep it. Kind of feels like my best option here. It's possible that we might need Mindbreak Traps in the sideboard, which I am very against as a human being, but... on the draw, don't really have tools to beat a deck like Doomsday. So things to keep in mind are maybe Pyroblasts and Mindbreak Traps when we move to fixing our deck. Are they going to fetch Basic Island? Yeah, okay. I still think resolving a Blood Moon is very powerful even when they fetch Basic Island because you cut them off of black mana. Like if they don't find their jet, not great. Ooh, I'm not. That's actually really nice because it gives me follow-up plays. I wonder if there are any other plays we can make here. We have 4 mana. Like, we could play a Karn. That probably sounds worse. I think it makes sense to... This is kind of nice that if they, like, Mental Misstep Soul Ring, then I could, still play a Pyrostatic Pillar. But I'm just going to play this. So it plays around Daze. Okay, so they have a counter spell. Yeah. So far, all of our Blood Moons... Not all of our Blood Moons, but most of our Blood Moons... All of our Blood Moons? I don't believe we've resolved very many Blood Moons. Yeah, so my opponent can just go fetch land underground, see kill me here. That is definitely within range. Really don't want this card in my deck, but like I said, I didn't really have enough cards to bring in. Maybe that's just a deck building flaw. I didn't really think too hard about mapping. Ooh, a Ragavan. It probably makes sense to just deploy Karn and then play Ragavan for 1. This doesn't get anything of value, right? I have a Needle. I could name Delta, but it's a little late for that. I have a Lantern, which is not nothing. I don't really have much of anything. I guess I technically have Lattice Lock, actually. That's not nothing. Lattice Lock is certainly not nothing. All right. Unfortunately, though, I am just open season here for them to murder me. Don't really have any counterplay. At this point, a Pyrostatic Pillar is not going to stop Doomsday from killing me, so... Yeah, they're just going to vamp for the kill, and I'm dead. Well, that's the problem. It's a very compact combo deck. Doesn't take much to make it work here, and we are just going to die. If we did have a Resolve Blood Moon, that was our opportunity, but it doesn't seem like that is ever going to happen. Unlucky, really. Are there piles here that win the game immediately for them when they can't Lotus? That's actually something to consider, is that my opponent might need to build a pile, unless they have Street Wraith as their last card. They could build a pile. If they have Street Wraith as their last card, they could build a pile that has Time Walk on top. So you could Street Wraith into Time Walk, into Ancestral, into Oracle with 3 lands. So the question becomes, do they have a Street Wraith on top? Or in their hand, sorry. If they have a Street Wraith in their hand, then they have a pile. Do they see the pile? Or do they build a pile and forget about Karn turning off Lotus? There's like a lot of things that can go wrong here. This is not easy for the Doomsday player. If opponent doesn't have a Street Wraith in hand, I don't think this is straightforward. And even if they have a Street Wraith in hand, it's not a line you're gonna see in a guide, right? It's a line you have to have learned or see on the fly, which is a good thing for me. So like if they have a Preordain here, what do? They have to build. So if like they don't have a Street Wraith, then how do you build this pile? What do you build? Because you need to play around multiple things. You need to play around a Ragavan hit, stealing something from you. You need to play around, what if I draw Blood Moon? I guess you can't play around what if I draw Blood Moon. That might be too hard. You could also die to Lotus or Lattice here. I'm going to have 6 mana once Ragavan hits. So there's a lot of actual problems here if you don't have a Street Wraith. 1 Street Wraith, 2 Street Wraith. Okay, it sure looks like they have a Street Wraith or they boarded them out. They don't have a Street Wraith. Okay, so no, they have a Street Wraith. Okay, never mind. All right, so they have to have Street Wraith Time Walk here. Street Wraith Gush, I guess that also does it. Cool. Yeah, Doomsday is fucking broken, man. Holy hell. Doomsday is so unreal. To be fair, I probably shouldn't have won game 2, but my opponent forgot about the hasty monkey. Man. This felt like a very winnable game from my side of the table, but just wasn't to be. Okay. Here we are, round 4. We'll just ignore the fact that we lost to Doomsday because that's everyone loses to Doomsday. We can't be expected to be beating Doomsday. That just seems unreasonable. So let's try to beat Renee instead. Let's see what we can do against Hull Breachers. It's okay. Hull Breacher, no problem. We don't draw any cards in our deck. This hand's a little on the weaker side, but we've got Ragavan, and that card was banned in Legacy, so this hand can't be that bad, right? Wait, who's the Stompy deck? What? Okay, I mean, is this a Blue Moon situation again? Are we going to get this Saga, or is the construct going to kill us? Okay, we have two Magus, so I don't see any reason to not get in there with our monkey here. Also, it should hide what we're up to. See what we can hit. What we hit? A Narset. Well, can't play that one, so goodbye, Narset. Forever in the Exiled Void. All right, so now they've got a Saga, so they're going to get a Construct no matter what. Can no longer get in with our Ragavan. They have we got Renade a little bit here. Opponent has a Tolarian Academy and a Black Lotus. We do call that the Renee for a reason. You know, after round 1, things were looking up. I thought, okay, we got something going here. And then we played against Shops, and I was like, oh, Shops, please, a free win. And then that Skyship happened, and everything has been downhill since the Skyship. Boats really do be like that. Now, if my opponent does not have a Force of Will, they have to be pretty careful here of the Blood Moon. I was going to say the Magus of the Moon, but Renee's known to play a Bolt or two, so more sense to Blood Moon. My opponent has the ability to activate Saga off of Just Academy here. They also have 1 billion mana and 4 cards in hand, and you know their deck is capable of doing very broken things. Tinker, Ancestral, you know, all manner of restricted artifact nonsense. So we're just going to have to see what Renee has in store for us, as we have no hands on the wheel on the opponent's turn. F6 all the way through the turn. When we do get to our turn, we have access to 5 mana, which is not a lot of mana. 6 mana would be a bit better, as that would give us 2 casts. So if we were to say we hit an Ancient Tomb, it's not even a terrible draw, as we could go Magus into Ancient Tomb, Pitch Spirit Guide, Blood Moon. That will at least turn off their Academy, turn off their blue mana, kill their Saga. It will still, you know, leave them with a construct that we need to beat, which is not the easiest thing to do, but it seems fairly doable. Opponent is deep in the tank. Don't know exactly what's going on in the brain over there. Could have some passing the turn. All right, so I'm looking for Simian Spirit Guide or Ancient Tomb or City of Traders as probably our best draws. Black Lotus, Fury. Well, that could actually kill a construct, but it's definitely not ideal for us unless they don't have a force. Okay. Are we making a Saga token? If so, that's a good sign. I'm gonna probably hold this Fury. Okay. Wow. All right. So we have the Saga turned off. We have the Academy turned off. They could still have like a Hull Breacher here. I'm going to get this monkey in play, as it's going to represent something that they have to maybe deal with. Like, you can't just leave back... I mean, you can't just attack with this construct into an active monkey. I do kind of feel like there's a Hull Breacher coming, but then they would be no blue mana. Okay, so it's the Hull Breacher. This is a repeal for 3. Okay, yes. You have successfully bounced back my Blood Moon. So they have back to unlock their blue mana, but they still lost their Saga and their Black Lotus. So a win. And we have it coming back down again. And if they don't have sufficient answers, we can also Fury their board and get in with our Ragavan. What do we got? Tinker? It's Renee. Can't rule it out. Dak Faden? Steal my Ruby? That'd be pretty good as well. Yeah, okay. Dak Faden, steal Ruby. 2 rubies. Also pumps their construct. Keeps me off of a lot of stuff. I probably have to kill this Ragavan with my... Kill this Dak Faden with my Ragavan, which is unfortunate. No way they swing here. So now, what is more important? They did actually hit basic... Oh, they fetched basic island, so they're actually pretty well covered now. That's not a great draw. So, yeah, I'm going to just start by playing the Blood Moon again. If they want to counter it, then so be it. If not, I'm going to do this. Pitching Ragavan. Killing Oh, I can kill Construct and Dak Faden. Holy crap. Fury's insane. Wow. And then I can hit him with Ragavan. Oh my god. This card's nuts. Maybe I should go play some more modern. This card's fire. Literally. It's like the embodiment of fire. Alright, so my opponent has 3 red mana and a blue mana. I have a Ragavan active. Hit a Time Vault. I guess I'm not casting that. So I don't believe my opponent should have any more ways to deal with Blood Moon. Repeal, probably the only one. They don't have access to black mana currently, which is nice. They do have access to Hull Breacher to block Ragavan, but I don't think that's a huge deal. I do want my Ragavan to live, but I don't care too much if it gets Ambush Vipered. I'm going to play Magus, not Rabblemaster here, so I'm going to start with just a Ragavan attack. Okay, that just hits. That's a good sign. A Jet. So now I can play both if I want. Sure. Let's play both. I don't see any reason not to. All right, end of turn. Yep, Hull Breacher. Okay. I mean, we can still get Time Twistered here. That would also be on brand. Okay, you know, Dak Faden plus target me, get 2 things, or that would give them black mana. Wow, all right, classic Renee deck. Hull Breacher second Dak. Oh no, they targeted themselves, so they're not in search of black mana currently. They look like they're in search of some kind of action, maybe. Lightning Bolt, perhaps. Gonna probably need to swing everything at Dak Faden. Oh, they're at 11. Don't really want to give them access to treasure tokens. This is a bolt. Must be a bolt. Could be a 1-mana artifact as well. Yeah, needle on what? What is this song gonna be on? I don't even know. What would you name this? I might send every... man, it's tough because I want this to hit them. I don't know. If I swing everything at Dak here, all these 3 at Dak, they could trade Rabblemaster and, or they could chump, or they could trade. Yeah, maybe I can get away with swinging Ragavan at player and everything else at Dak. That seems like I could get away with that. I don't know what they're gonna name here. I mean, theoretically, they can name cards that actually hit stuff in our deck are Unlicensed Hearst and Karn. They could also name things that we could steal. They could also name the reflection of the kiki-jiki thing. That's pretty far out, though. Not sure. It's gonna be tough to say. Don't think there's like, I don't think there's a good answer, but there are better answers. An answer, though, I would take an answer. Answers are fun. Enjoyable experiences. When I read my mind, said I don't know what to name. I really have no idea. It do be like that. That is the power of the brew. Catch people off guard. And so we ponder. Dive deep into the orb. Think. What's name? I don't know. I got nothing left, chat. This is where I would normally banter off of chat, but there is no chat to banter off of. A less lazy content creator would cut this part out, but that would have to be a less lazy content creator. All right, what do we name? We named Soul Guide Lantern. Reasonable. Off the top, what we got? Black Lotus. Not exactly the magic card we were looking for here. All right, so I'm going to go that at your face, that at Dak, that at Dak, and that at Dak. If they want, they might trade with this Rabblemaster. It's good. It's good value for them. It saves the Dak, but it loses the Hull Breacher. But we still get a Ragavan hit, which I think is more valuable than killing the Dak if the Hull Breacher is getting traded. Maybe they trade the Ragavan and just let the Dak die. No. Okay, so this is the block I expected them to make. So they get to keep an activation of looting on Dak. They get to get rid of the biggest threat on Hull Breacher, but I get to get a Ragavan activation, which gives us a Hull Breacher, which actually quite good right now, seeing as that will help us not get Time Twistered. I felt like the value of a Ragavan hit there was high. 1 blue mana to rule them all. Survey says Tinker. Wow. Okay. Do they have a Sphinx in their deck? I can't beat a Sphinx. Nope. We're going for Citadel. They can't draw any cards because we have a Hull Breacher. So that leaves them with not very many things to do. And they do have not exactly lethal on the table, 5, 7, 8, but pretty much lethal. All right, so Ragavan hitting Hull Breacher there. Well, it was quite strong. It was quite strong. Do we want to play Pillas? No, opponent's not exactly a Pilla deck, but it's not a bad idea. Kind of feels like it might put more value than a Hearse. Hearse isn't terrible. Like, opponent is a Delve deck. They're probably also a Yogwill deck. I do still like Fury, though. They're also like a Ragavan, a Hull Breacher. It's probably okay. Maybe we don't need all the Furies. I don't know. Fury just seems, so far, in the limited games we've played, I've been extremely happy with Blood Moon and Fury. That's about it. The rest has been okay, but Fury has been great. Except for against Doomsday. Fury was not great against Doomsday. That is an issue. I do think the sideboard probably just needs to be reconfigured where we get to play some cards to bring in for Doomsday. Probably like 2 Mindbreak Traps and 2 Pyroblasts or something similar. That makes us lose a lot of graveyard hate, which I'm not 100% sure I'm happy about. We'll have to think about it a little bit at the end of the video. Here we are presented with turn 1 Rabble or Fable into turn 2 Karn. Yeah, I mean, this sounds fine. The power of Mox Ruby. Definitely at play here. Definitely, I'm going to try playing this turn 1 Fable and seeing how it goes. Kind of interests me. This is a card that is quite powerful in the younger formats, but I am not sure how well it does in Vintage. It's a card I've been meaning to try, but I haven't really had a particularly good deck that I wanted to play it in. I do want to at some point maybe it's weird. It's hard to say because like there's some cool things you can do with like Transmogrify. That runs into Flusterstorm though, and then at that point, shouldn't you just play Oath? I don't know. I want to do something with this card though. It's a very cool card, very powerful card. All right, well, they have another Black Lotus hand because, well, it's Renee. So they're going to go Black Lotus Probe. So they basically just use this Yogg-Will to recast Probe. Interesting. How many cards did they mulligan to? I mulliganed to 5 cards. So they used Yogg-Will as a flashback to cast Probe, maybe finding a land. If this Ruby does not resolve, then I will be playing Mountain instead of City. That's why I sequenced it this way. I wanted to be able to play around some way that this Ruby didn't resolve. I do want to play this Fable, though. I want to try it. That could get negated, but I think that would be okay. Wow, they force pitching Hullbreacher for that. They do know there's a Karn following up here, so I hope they have a follow-up play. Maybe they have a hard cast Force. Kind of is what it feels like. Well, I'm willing to make them use their Force and their Lotus to counter this Karn. I'm just not going to play a Mountain this turn, so that I have extra mana for next turn. All right, they just didn't have anything. Okay, I think if I was them, I would probably, I don't know, it's tough to say. So we actually beat Tinker, which is fun. It's actually, I've been saying it in some other chats, but Tinker is in a bad spot right now. Its win rate is just tanking in all of the challenges, 30%, 40% win rate. Its play rate is tanking, as people have just, found ways to deal with the Saga and found ways to deal with Tinker and Pyroblast, Flusterstorm based decks, especially that blue-red deck, which I don't really like very much, I know, but it is definitely a deck that can beat up on Tinker because you have access to Wasteland for Urza Saga, and then you can Pyroblast and Flusterstorm the blue spells. So there's a lot of things happening right now. The metagame is certainly correcting itself for Tinker, with what it looks like to be Doomsday and Hogak shooting to the top of the metagame. All right, here we are, 5th and final round. Honestly, I'm pretty happy. 2-2. That's an improvement on my last couple leagues with real decks. So maybe the key is to Blood Moon some people. Here we go, round 5. I like it. I like what I'm seeing here. I want Joanne to experience the moon. Let's do it. This is hype. I wonder if there's merit to not playing Soul Ring to play around Mental Misstep. I kind of feel like that is the case, but it would prevent me from playing 2. The problem is, if I don't play Soul Ring this turn, it prevents me from playing 2 3-drops on turn 2 if I hit a mana source, which I can't pass up that kind of acceleration when my deck is this weak. Oh, fucking hell. Okay, well. I mean, I considered it and I decided not to, and I paid the price, right? Let's see if he fetches a basic island here. Yeah. Well, The good thing is I considered it. The bad thing is I didn't do it, and it would have been good. But like, I think the upside of being able to play this turn, I would have had 6 mana, and I would have been able to play second Magus plus Fable is like so high. It's just really, really feels very important. I do want to get a Magus in. I don't want to give them access to other fetches here. Yeah, definitely don't want them to have access to white mana or black mana, probably. Likely a combo deck. I am going to... do I want to clock my opponent, or do I want to play a Fable? Kind of want to just get a Rabble Master going here and try to clock my opponent. Hopefully this Magus is enough. Yeah, so I wonder how different this game would have been if I had not played Sol Ring on turn 1. If I had not played Sol Ring on turn 1, and my opponent would not have access to blue mana, yeah, maybe I was just supposed to make sure I played my Magus on turn 1, and that way, even if it got countered, I could play Magus on turn 2. Yeah, I see. I can see. I maybe talked myself out of the better line. Feels reasonable. Oh, they had access to a Sapphire anyways, so. All right, we're coming in. I guess I'm not coming in with Magus to play around. I don't want to get like a Snapcaster or a Hull Breacher blocking my Magus here. I don't want to have them have access to this white mana, even though I'm playing a Magus. If I had played Magus pre-combat, then I could have attacked with this Magus. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have. That could have been better sequencing. Looks one deeper with top. They are like locked out of fetching away with their top, which is really nice. Oh, I don't even have access to 2 spells here because of Magus, right? Yeah, all right, fair enough. I'm not 100% sure that second Magus is better than Fable. Fable just seems like it's too slow for this game. That is a lot of white mana that is turned off. A lot of blue mana that's turned off. We have Tinker. Again, if they have Sphinx, we lose. If they don't have Sphinx, though, then a top 8 mana and a Citadel might not be good. Oh, they have fucking Sphinx. Of course they have Sphinx. I don't really have ways to beat this card. I don't know if there are ways for me to beat this card, to be perfectly honest. So, I mean, my opponent had a Sphinx and they won. What can I say? I don't think there's a single way. I guess I could like bridge, and then I don't even have a way to kill through a bridge, so maybe that's not even a viable option. I guess I could board and pulverize and then bridge or something. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna beat me, unfortunately. There are not too many people still playing Sphinx main, but it's certainly good here. I wonder, it's tough because like I want access to Null Rod in this deck, but with Ragavan and Mirror Breaker and Hearse, it feels like we don't want to have a Null Rod. It might be too conflicting. It's tough to say. I think I'm going to bring in Pulverize just so I have an out to Sphinx. Just kind of weird, but I don't like having nothing. This one's nice. It's not turn 1 Blood Moon, and maybe I'm not supposed to keep it if it's not turn 1 Blood Moon, but turn 1 Ragavan. It's a banned play, so. And we have access to 2/3 drops again on turn 2. Not sure about this Rabble Master. Urza Saga. Kind of would have liked them to have drawn Urza Saga if I had a Blood Moon, but I don't have a Blood Moon, so. I probably am supposed to mulligan to a turn 1 Blood Moon hand. I mean, if we just get Tinker Sphinx again, that would be pretty unfortunate. But yeah, they just have Tinker Sphinx both games. Okay. Well, I was hoping we were going to do some winning, but that is just too much for us to beat. I'm going to play Fable and try to draw into Mountain plus Pulverize, but it's going to be quite difficult. I guess I could hardcast Pulverize here. None of these cards do anything, so there's no point in casting any of them. Man, that is pretty sad. But, you know, it's a deck building choice that Juan made, and it it's going to pay off. All right, so here we get to draw 3 cards and see if we find a Pulverize. I get rid of Fury and Ragavan. Yeah, we didn't find it. All right. That's enough for me. This went okay, actually. We didn't really get to see Hearst do anything. But the Blood Moons and the Magus, and I was pretty impressed by Fury. I could definitely see this Fable actually being good. It didn't end up mattering too much, but having the ability to pitch extra mana sources does seem powerful. Something I'd be willing to try more of in the future. It might just be that we have to play Null Rods in this deck. That would be my assumption, is that without Null Rods, it's not as good here. So I would probably look to change. I'm going to take out Lantern and Bridge and play 2 Pyros. And then I'm going to... I don't know about these Hearses. They just don't seem like it's a powerful enough card for Vintage. So I think I'm just going to take out the Hearses and play some Null Rods. Null Rods are definitely awkward with our mana base, but should be okay. I might take the Null Rods and put them in the board, though. But then what am I playing in the main? Maybe you keep the Hearses and then you just board them for Null Rods. And we just play... Man, there's just so little graveyard hate. Oh, I guess these pillars are just... I don't like these pillars. I think Null Rod does a similar thing. Yeah, so we'll play Pyroblast and Null Rods to try to help us with Tinker. We don't have any answers to Sphinx, so... It's kind of cool that this actually does answer Sphinx, but... It's pretty hard to say that that's a good idea. But at least this gives us something. Overall, though, I think this could have a place, and I think Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon are just super strong right now against Urza Saga. We kind of kicked the shit out of Urza Saga players. The only thing we really had a problem with against Urza Saga was just like Tinker Sphinx. Turn 1 Tinker Sphinx, turn 2 Tinker Sphinx, whatever. So yeah, this was fun actually. I didn't hate this as much as some of my recent leagues. I have been losing a lot of Magic recently. Maybe that's because I'm playing Ledger Shredder decks. I feel like theoretically, and they should be good, but I might just not be in a super good mental state to be playing leagues at the moment. So we'll have to see when Wednesday comes around what exactly we'll be feeling. But maybe it'll be something more on the fun end. Maybe we play more Tinker Doomsday. That actually feel like it was powerful and good. But I feel like the hands I drew with Tinker Doomsday were so much better than the hands I've been drawing for other things. We'll find something fun to do. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you check out my YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. New videos each and every week. I'll see you then.